ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। हरि ओम, salutations to all. So 15th chapter, we are seeing the 5th verse, which is the 5-star verse. Beautiful 5 qualities are given by Bhagwan, and very practical sadhana one can do based on these 5. So Bhagwan says, first one he says Nirmana Moha, one who is free from Mana and Moha, pride and delusion. So one interesting story Akhandanandji mentions in his commentary is there was so when the Mahabharat war ended and Bhagwan told Arjun that you get down from the chariot first. So Arjun came down, then Hanumanji jumped from the top. He was on the dhwaja. He jumped. And then Bhagwan got down. So as soon as Bhagwan got down, that whole chariot caught flames. And Arjun, he was stunned. Oh, what happened? Every day this would happen. Bhagwan will tell Arjun, you get down. Then he will get down. But last day the chariot, after the war is over, went into flames. Hanumanji at that time, he prostrated to Bhagwan and he said, Bhagwan, I have to tell you something, that when you were giving this knowledge of the Gita to Arjun to remove his delusion, I was also there and I also heard this knowledge. So I just want to inform you, because one should not steal knowledge and one should inform if one has heard in that way, where the teacher or the speaker did not know that you are hearing, then you should go and confess and inform. So he confessed, he informed Bhagwan. So Bhagwan said, Hanuman, you have done a blunder, and so for that I will give you a danda, I will give you a punishment. And what is that punishment? What is the danda? First of all, he said, when you listen to a speaker, you should sit in front of the speaker and if possible below the speaker, because knowledge flows from top to down like water flows from top to down, and the idea is to be humble to listen and receive. He said, you were sitting behind me and above me, and so you have to write. So he said, I will give you the danda that you become a pishacha, you become a ghost. And how will you be released from this? Only when you write a commentary on the Gita. So Hanumanji accepted Bhagwan's command as his prasad. He was in the Pishacha Yoni, and then he wrote the Gita commentary. That is called Paishacha Bhashya. on the Gita. And when he completed that, he was released from his punishment. So the idea here is mana and moha. When mana has to go, how it will go? When we inculcate humility, when we have an altar of surrender, when we do seva. We have seen in detail, so I will not go into the detail right now. Moha will go with clarity, right knowledge. Nirmana moha. Jita sangha dosha. Sangha dosh happens. So when the person is in contact, sangha is to be in company of. So we are in touch with people, family, friends, relatives, students, peers, so many, employees, colleagues, so many people, plus the sangha of, the place where we spend time, the community, the country, all this impacts our mind. In fact, so one should be careful. Sangha is not only good company in terms of friends and all, anyone. Nowadays, one common thing that a lot of people do is father and son together sit and drink. They think it is great maturity. That is called sangha dosh. Whatever the father is doing doesn't make it right. Whatever the parent is doing doesn't make it right. It has to be dharmic, it has to be aligned with righteousness. Otherwise there will be raga and dvesha. Person will fall. In fact, if you see in the Taittiriya Upanishad, the Guru is giving that advice to the student in the convocation address. See that humility, the ideal of humility, the Guru also sets. It is not just saying by words. The Guru lives like that, and the Guru explains. In the convocation address in Shikshavalli it comes. Yanyana vadyani karmani tani sevitavyani no itarani. So the Guru says that only follow those actions of ours, meaning the Gurus, which are in line with dharma, not others. Because the Guru is humble enough to say ki even sometimes one may have acted out of raga or dvesha or done something which is, losing one's balance of mind, equanimity, So the Guru is saying here, the teacher who is there is not necessarily a Brahmagyani. He is the teacher who is in the Gurukul, who is teaching the Veda Pathshala like type, so Vedas he is teaching and some other skills. So that type of a teacher. And so the teacher is also humble enough to say, you have lived with me for 12 years, 13 years, whatever the time Gurukul the student is in. And the teacher says, only follow those actions which are righteous, which are good, which are in line with the scriptures. So this is the humility of the teacher, and this is also the instruction that this sangha dosha you should not have. Even offers to teacher, principal, whoever it may be. Just because they are elder, just because they have some more knowledge, not necessarily that means that every single thing that they do becomes, one can just follow it. No, it doesn't work like that. So here he says nirmana moha jita sangha dosha. So be careful of sangha dosha. This raga and dvesha should not be there. Nirmana moha jita sangha dosha. Both these can happen when there is adhyatma nitya, when one is anchored in the spiritual sadhanas. Before we go to that, this sangha dosha also goes by Guru Seva. That is one another point to understand. Ishwar Bhakti, Guru Seva, all that will help to overcome raga and dvesha, because the mind needs to hold on to something higher. It will not drop the lower without that. So if somebody is trying to say, okay, I will not act out of raga and dvesha, I will be peaceful, I will not be selfish. It will not work only if one says like that or one takes some resolve. The mind has to be channelized to do something in the positive direction. Gurudev always said the mind doesn't know what not to do. The mind only knows what to do. We have to tell the mind, do this. Don't say don't be angry. You say be compassionate, be positive, be kind. So that way if I say no raga and no dvesha, it will not work. I have to channelize that mind's energy. Which is why Adhyatma Nitya becomes very important. So that Adhyatma Nitya is to be anchored. Nitya is to live constantly. So Adhyatma Nitya meaning, different meanings it has. To be steadfast in one's own spiritual sadhana. We saw that last time. Adhi is inside, Atma is the self. So whatever connects me to the self or to Ishvara, whatever one identifies with, puja, japa, tapa, vrata, yajna, dana, any of these, and the bhavana is I am a devotee. That bhav has to come 24/7. Nitya means that. Or one says I am able to sit and contemplate steadily on the self. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana I am able to do. Following the instructions of a teacher, now I am following this. So Adhyatma Nitya is to be steadfast in a spiritual sadhana that one takes up and do it consistently over a period of time. If one doesn't have a lot of time, even a small time in the day, a short duration in the day is good enough, but one has to do one sadhana. So Adhyatma Nitya, one meaning is this. Another meaning is that this bhav of being a seeker, being a devotee 24/7. So I respond through the day as a seeker, not as a bhogi, not as. So my identity is not that I am playing different roles in life and during my spiritual sadhana 20 minutes I am a seeker also. No. I am a seeker who is playing these roles. Roles come and go. I am a seeker 24/7. That is called Adhyatma Nitya. And that sadhana can happen through the day. It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to sit in one place only and do. That also I should do. But through the day, how would a seeker respond to the regular situations of life? How can I be connected to Bhagavan through the day? Remember that I am doing this as an offering to Bhagavan. Take 1 hour break, even for half a minute. Remember who you are. Remember I am divine. Remember I am a devotee. Anyways, one can practice. While eating food, remember Bhagavan. Before eating food, remember Bhagavan. Through the day, as much as one can remember. Adhyatma Nitya. And the result of that will be what? Vinivritta Kama. This Vinivritta Kama is important as a complement. It will complement. If I am anchored more in spiritual sadhana, automatically my extrovertedness and craving for things outside will reduce. Why? Because I am tasting inner bliss and joy. Why will I depend on anything else after that? And the more Vinivritta Kama one does, more Adhyatma Nitya will happen. That more steadiness in contemplation, in japa, puja, sadhana, whatever one is doing. They both are complementary. If I am thinking that I am a spiritual seeker and my desires are unending and in fact increasing for sense enjoyments, with the attitude that I have, the happiness is outside, I have to get more and more from outside, then these two are not aligned. One is the path to anchor within, other is the path to go out. Even if one says ki I am serving in the spiritual field, I am serving the society, we have targets only for that, one has to be very clear ki what is the truth. One only knows in one's heart. Is that for my personal glorification ki I did this, I set up this much, I have this many devotees, or is it really ki I am serving Bhagavan? as many people as I can serve, so we try to reach maximum people. Bas. If one has a cause, like Gurudev always said, converting Hindus to Hinduism. Now to that cause, one has dedicated one's life and one says, okay, for this I am serving. What best one can do, one does. Narayanaya iti samarpayami. If it happens, wonderful. If it doesn't happen, Ram Ram. It is Bhagwan's Srishti anyway. Bhagwan will take care of it. How best I can do, whatever best I can do, contribute. Can't contribute, withdraw. So only one will know that external work and whatever plans one is having, is it because of one's own individual ambition, and one thinks that this will make me glorious and it's for one's own ego and glory, or is genuinely for the cause. So Vinivritta Kama is very important. Adhyatma Nitya, Vinivritta Kama. They both should go together. One should introspect. Suppose I am on the path for 10 years. What kind of desires were there 10 years back? What desires are there now? Have the desires reduced? Oh Swamiji, if desires will reduce, what will happen to us? We will become lazy, lethargic. Adhyatma Nitya is there to protect that. The desire can become lesser in quantity. The desire can transform in quality. Tamasic, Rajasic desires, one drops. Sattvic desires will rise. As I said earlier, mind doesn't know to remain in vacuum. So you have to transform it. Give it a higher purpose. Give it the sadhanas to do. Do I have that inquisitiveness to either increase the duration of my sadhana or increase the intensity of my sadhana? And to do that, whatever is required, am I able to do? That is called Vinivritta Kama. If one is withdrawing from certain active work outside, is it out of laziness? Then is what is one doing? Whiling away one's time, just chit-chatting, gossiping, browsing, lying around, just sleeping. Then that is laziness. But if one is withdrawing because one has seen, one has understood that this is temporary world, nothing is there, no permanent happiness, and in that also how much sorrow, all that we saw earlier, samsara vriksha. Only truth, only thing worth holding on to in this life is Bhagwan. To discover that supreme consciousness, Shastra, Guru, three things, that's it. All other relationships and work and duty etc. is a means for purification till it helps to do that, and till the bhav is that, and till the mind has some rajoguna and one needs to exhaust it, one does it. Keep doing seva. And rest of the time focus on scriptural study, intensify it, spend more time doing japa, doing puja, doing bhajan, whatever sadhana appeals to one. Then that is called Vinivritta Kama. It will not lead a person to dullness. Vinivritta Kama doesn't mean run away from duties. It doesn't mean ki, now I am following this. One instruction of the Gita, if I have to follow, I will follow Vinivritta Kama. I will not do any work. Why? Because I have no desire. Okay, then you sit quietly. Don't expect anything from the world. That somebody should do something for you, somebody should bring food for you, somebody should take care of you. Don't expect. If I have even one expectation from anyone, I have duty and obligation and I have to serve. So, Vinivritta Kama, if we understand clearly, that's why Bhagavan gives the three things first. Then he says Vinivritta Kama. Nirmana Moha, Jita Sangha Dosha, Adhyatma Nitya. Then he says Vinivritta Kama. One interesting etymology of the word Kama is Ka refers to Sukha. Ama refers to temporary, perishable. Kama refers to that temporary, perishable, In fact, ama refers to that which is not only temporary and perishable, it refers to that which is unripe, kacha. Suppose we say aam in mango, example mango, right? In Hindi we say aam mango. So that mango can be unripe mango khatta. People like that also. And that can be pakka, very ripe mango, sweet to taste. Now this word kama is defined as this, that those who are running behind the temporary, they are like those who want kacha mango. We are not judging anybody who are having kacha mango are wrong or bad or anything like that. We are just saying that the mind which is extroverted runs behind the temporary perishable things and finds delight in that. But Vinivritta Kama is the one who has seen through it and understood, and one says, my happiness doesn't depend on any of this. That person is Vinivritta Kama. That person attains the Sukha which is supreme. That is what he will say further. Gachanti amudhaha padam avyayam tat. Those who become Vinivritta Kama, they will get avyaya pada. So dropping desires or rising above desires is not to become lazy, it is to finally realize that my nature is Paramananda. Why am I running behind anything? I am already a billionaire, I don't know it, I just forgot, and I am running out in the world begging ki bhai please help me, please give me loan, please do some daan. You are already a billionaire. Once one realizes that, why will one go there begging to anybody? Oh, but Swamiji, we have to realize that first. Then only this will stop. It is both ways. Once I have understood the temporary nature of this, I start withdrawing. The mind becomes Adhyatma Nitya. It will experience more and more the bliss of the inner, self. More and more Vinivritta Kama will happen. One should not say that when I will realize the truth, then I will drop all desires. It will not work like that. One has to drop desire to contemplate steadily, then one will. And that dropping has to be natural. That is why Vairagya is important. Which is why he said earlier, Asanga Shastrena Dridhena Chitva. With the acts of detachment, dispassion, hit firmly at the base. So Vinivritta Kama means that one who learns to let go of this temporary, the attachment to the temporary and running behind the temporary, one just lets go of that. Then what happens? Fifth quality he says is Dvandvair Vimuktaha. Such people will also become free from Dvandva. It is very interesting. Each one leads to the other. What we try to do in the world is we want to be equanimous without being Vinivritta Kama. We want to run behind in the temporary world, continuously be attached, not ready to let go of the attachment. Still I want to be equanimous. It won't work. Equanimity of the mind will come only when we let go of the attachments. If one still depends on things for happiness, people's opinions, if one is still thinking that, only when I go there I will be more happy, only when I get that promotion, only when I eat this, only when this person behaves in a certain way I will be happy. Now I am having all these attachments. Then I will say I have to practice Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Be equanimous. Equanimity is yoga. Don't react. How I will not react? Even if I try to use some technique, some method, it will only lead to suppression. So Dvandvair Vimukta will also happen when slowly Vinivritta Kama happens. One doesn't depend on things outside for happiness. Desire may still be there. But as we said, it is for duty, it is not for oneself. One's happiness is not depending on that. And naturally, so quantity of desires will reduce, quality will transform, direction will be to turn more within and not get more and more extroverted. So all that when one starts doing, then equanimity also will happen. Dvandvair vimuktaha. So this is dvandva. When we say this is pair, dvandva means a pair. Dvandvair vimukta means what? Externally, obviously, we cannot be free from dvandva. Heat, cold, pleasure, pain, all that externally it is going to be there. Mentally also, when we say sukha, dukkha, is the result of the dvandva. Sukha, dukkha also is one dvandva, but success, failure, praise, insult, somebody praise, somebody says, oh, you are so beautiful, somebody says, oh, okay type. So they have, in the world this will go on. That because it is dvandvamay. Only one will not exist. If I want praise, I should be ready to handle criticism also. If there is heat, there will be cold. If there is pleasure, there is pain. If there is happiness, there is sorrow. This will go on. Dvandvair vimukta means internally I am freed from their dependency. If somebody praises, very good. One credits it to Bhagavan. If somebody criticizes, very good. Pass it on to Bhagavan only. One may learn something out of it and improve if one wants to improve. That is one's own choice. But one doesn't take it to heart. One doesn't take it personally. If there is heat, okay, deal with it, handle it, put some fan, put some AC if it is possible. If nothing can be done, bear it. That's why Bhagavan says in that second chapter that Matra sparshastu kaunteya shvitoshna sukha dukkha daha. Pleasure and pain, success and failure, these are all with the contact with the senses. They come, they go, agama apayinha, anityaha, they are temporary. Tan stitikshasva, just bear with them. Then he next says in the next verse, why should I bear with equanimity? Yamhina vyathayante te purusham purusharshabha. Who is not disturbed by these pairs of opposite. He doesn't say they will not come. They will come. Even Bhagavan had to face all. No? Praise, criticism, success, failure, heat, cold, everything. Because that's the nature of samsara. Samsara is dvandvamay. He says, Yamhina vyathayantyate. One who is not disturbed by these is considered very highly evolved and a very mature seeker, and that person is fit for immortality. He is a wise person. Sama dukkha sukham dhiram saha amritatvaya kalpate. That person is ready for immortality. So we can't expect the dvandva from outside to stop. If we think that nobody should criticize me, it will not happen. There will be people who will criticize. No, Swami, they are criticizing for something which I have not even done. Arey, that is the nature of the world. If you have to explain something. Even after explanation, if they don't believe, that is their choice. What can we do? For that I can't be disturbed. So the person who understands this very clearly, he says, Dvandvair vimuktaha. I will deal with it how it comes, but won't allow it to shake me up completely. Sometimes one, sometimes if the sadhana is not deep enough yet, then one may react in a certain way at the impulse of that moment, but one holds back. One again, recognizes, oh, this, I am out of my equanimous state. Okay, come back. So, Dvandvair vimuktaha. That Dvandvair vimuktaha is something that is creating the right climate in the mind for Adhyatma Nitya also. Because if I go up and down with the pairs of opposites, I can't be Adhyatma Nitya. I can't be maintaining that bhav that I am a bhakta or I am a sadhak or I am Brahman or even Sakshi bhav. None of that I can maintain. Why? Because somebody said something, I am on the top of the world. Somebody criticized, I am in the depth of despair. Some heat came, oh, I have some health issue. Suddenly weather changed a little bit. Again now I have some headache. How will one handle? So spiritual life is to be that strong. Let this come and go. equip oneself and then just move on with that. Why? Because I have a higher purpose. Many times Gurudev would be sitting and he would be writing letters and it will be absolutely chill. And there is nothing, he is not wearing some sweater or anything like that, and there is someone Angavastram, but he is absorbed in his writing the letter and all. Somebody else comes and notices, oh, this is so hot now or so cold now. He is absorbed. It is not absent-mindedness. It is that the mind is not obsessing over any of this. Like how they say nowadays don't sweat the small stuff. For a seeker it applies. Don't sweat the small stuff, medium stuff, big stuff also. Doesn't matter only. Gurudev's heart was functioning 16%. He didn't sweat on it. He didn't bother only. He kept doing what he had to do. Okay, diabetes is there, take the insulin injection, whatever has to be done, do for it. But no obsession over it. That is called equanimity. So, these 5 points that Bhagavan has given, they are very practical sadhanas that one can do in one's daily life. And in this, the sadhanas are divided into 3 divisions, if we have to say that. Some sadhanas are to give up, some sadhanas are to take and be established in. Then third part is a secondary result, and the fourth is the main primary result of the sadhanas. So that's how these 5 points are divided. How? So if you see that Nirmana Moha and this Jita Sangha Dosha. So Sangha Dosha I have to give up, Mana and Moha I have to give up. That is called Tyajya. Then Adhyatma Nitya is Grahya. Means I have to take up that Adhyatma Nitya and establish in that. The secondary result will be this Vinivritta Kamaha and Dvandvair Vimuktaha. The mind will become freed from the disturbances of the pairs of opposites as well as selfishness. That is the secondary result. Avantara Phala it is called. And the Mukhya Phala is what? Attain the truth. Padam Avyayam Tat. Attain that infinite consciousness. So these 5 are not just to make my life in the world more anchored, more steady, strong, make my mind more quiet, peaceful, but they are also to finally discover that Gachanti Amudhaha. Such people Bhagavan calls them Amudha. In the same chapter, Bhagavan will say Vimudha also. Vimudha nanu pashyanti, pashyanti jnana chetasaha. Vimudha means Gurudev used to translate as supreme idiots. Meaning not to insult anybody, he would say supreme idiot, meaning we are deluded by our own ignorance and we think happiness is outside and then we are running. Supreme idiots. They don't see. Vimudha na anupashyanti. So, if we have to say what is our journey, from Vimudha to Amudha is our journey. Vimudha is avastha where I am thinking I am the body, I am this jiva, I am limited entity, happiness is outside, world is real, and I am running out there. Amudha is who has freed oneself from this ignorance, understood that this is all wrong identification. There is only one truth, one consciousness that is appearing as 3. The waker's mind alone is the truth. That is appearing as the dream creator, the dream creature and the dream world. Now forgetting the waker's mind, now this one dream creature I am identified with, then I am thinking dream creator is somebody else, dream world is different from me. That is all Vimudha Avastha, deluded. Amudha is to see that all this is only one truth, and that is of the nature of supreme bliss. So he says, Vimudha nanupashya, amudha, gachanti amudha. What they will attain? Gachanti doesn't mean going in this context. Gachanti means knowing. They will come to know, Kyare, my nature is Brahman. How? Through this. When we say that go to the Guru, earlier it was said, Tata padam tat parimargitavyam. To know that truth, go to the teacher. So one has to learn from a teacher and do the sadhanas. Then what will happen? One will attain amudhaha padam avyayam tat, infinite in consciousness, which is that truth. It is said that right now because as of now we don't experience it, so we are saying it is other than us, it is that. Otherwise it is right here and now, this. So, tat, what was said earlier, the urdhva moolam, that Bhagavan is the root of this whole srishti. He is the ultimate causeless cause. That infinite consciousness, which one should realize in human life. Tata padam tat parimargitavyam. That tat is this state. One should discover this state of consciousness. That is my true nature. I am not the BMI. Such people are freed from delusion. So the result of these 5 things is one will attain this amudha pada. And that's how this verse, it's a complete verse in itself also. It is of course there in this sequence in the Gita in 15th chapter, verses before and after, but by itself it is an independent verse also. One can just apply this one verse. All sadhanas are there, the result is also there. So gacchantya mudha padam avyayam tat. Now Bhagavan goes on to explain what is that state. Avyayam tat, when he said, then what is that supreme state? So that is in the 6th verse. Na tad bhasayate suryaha na shashanko na pavakaha yadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. So one point before I go to the 6th verse is, in these 5, sometimes we may think, oh, these are 5 things to be done. The key of these 5, Nirmana Moha, Jita Sangha Dosha, Adhyatma Nitya, Vinivritta Kama, Dvandvair Vimuktaha, Sukha Dukkha Sangnehi. The key of these 5 is what? 1, the 3rd one, Adhyatma Nitya. The other 2 on each side will happen by itself if one does Adhyatma Nitya. Nirmana Moha, Jita Sangha Dosha, Vinivritta Kama, Dvandvair Vimuktaha. This will happen if I do Adhyatma Nitya. Regularly I follow my sadhana consistently, maintain the sadhak bhav through the day, then all the other 4 will happen. So I don't have to be worried, Kyore, 5 hai, how will we follow 5 things? 1 only we are not able to do. No need to worry, just stick to 1, which is that Adhyatma Nitya. Try and maintain that attitude, I am a sadhak through the day. Try to do sadhana consistently, 1 sadhana minimum daily. Increase the intensity of that sadhana. Then the rest of the things will happen automatically. Bhagavan will make it happen. Now, what is that state? And also that goal has to be clear. Adhyatma Nitya means I have to discover that state which is my true nature. Avyayam tat padam. You know this verse, Gurudev used to say, this is the definition of truth. Though obviously truth which is infinite cannot be defined, anything which is finite only can be defined, which has properties and all that. But he would say in a matter of, because we are anyway using language, so he would say that this is the one of the best definitions of truth. I'm just going to share, let us see that video where Gurudev is saying this. This is the definition of truth. And very, very nice video this is. Maybe a little longer, but that's okay. 7 minutes, yeah. We'll watch.
What is that state? Yasmin gataha, people who have reached there. Nanivartanti bhuyaha, there is no more any return. That is the definition of truth. A state having once reached, you can never leave it. Wherever there afterwards you go and function, that experience will be clinging on to you. Having woken up from the dream, you cannot be frightened by the dream tiger. You are awakened. Here, having gone from this present state of consciousness and discovered your identity with the higher, that being the timeless, it is permanent, eternal, immutable, changeless, ever with you. Yasmin gataha, there where having gone, nanivartanti bhuyaha, it never comes back. In the modern world, we eat in a till. And the vegetables and things, dishes, all come in big vessels. And there is nobody to serve, and therefore you take what you want and you pass it on, and next man takes it, next man takes it, and it goes on round and round. But there may be in that crowd a glutton, where, having gone, it never returns. Whatever is in the plate, that is not the meaning. Having gone, having once awakened to that state of consciousness, you can never forget. You are always that. Yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyaha tameva chadyam purusham pravati. Now, Krishna as anyone else, when I am explaining to you how I lost my first wife, you are my bosom friend. As I was explaining 10 years ago, and how I held on to her hand and she held, and she slowly left. Oh, will I not cry? 10 years ago, not now. As I am crying, will you not also cry out of sympathy? Not that your wife died. You are unluckily a bachelor, so it's all right. And you also cry, and both of us crying. Is at that time we heard steps of the slippers coming down the wooden staircase from upstairs. So I immediately wiped my tears and plastered a half sincere smile. Now, so I also, because he is my friend also immediately wiped his eyes, and he also started a big smile. It is at that time a huge 6-footer with 62 chest coming down. One child holding on to her finger, one on her hip, one yet unmanifest but ready to manifest. And the woman comes. Then naturally I get up. Honey, you remember I used to say about Gopal, Gopal? That Gopal is now retired and come back, and he is my friend Gopal. Oh, you are a friend Gopal. And Mr. Gopal, please meet Mrs. Swami. So, 10 years after the wife died, naturally, I married again. I got 2.5, let us say. 2 manifest and 1 unmanifest. What is wrong in it? But even though I have got everything now, when I remember intensively of an experience that I had 10 years ago, I come to live that experience as though right now. Tears come. It's not false tears, it's real tears. Because when you marry a 6-footer and 72 chest, you remember that frail little one that you had 10 years ago. It's not his fault. Now the point is, when Krishna was telling Arjuna, for his benefit, and thereafterwards you must search for that state, having gone which there is no return. Krishna being one who had already experienced it, poor man, his mind rolls into it. So he forgets the disciple in front of him. Like Ramakrishna used to do the same. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to do the same. When he is talking in satsang, suddenly he stops. And he cries out, Gulab Jan, Gulab Jan, Gulab Jan. And there must be always ready in Bengali houses, there will be always Gulab Jan, sweet. And the disciple goes and puts that sweet in his mouth. Why? To him, to remain in our plane of consciousness is as difficult as we find difficulty in going there. So, for us to go there, kirtan, bhajan and meditation, all are necessary. To him, who is now familiar there, to bring him down, Gulab Jan must be given to him. Lucky that he was not a diabetic. In the same way, Krishna feels that he is rolling away into it. And he says, you and your questions, I am going. Tameva chadyam purusham prapadye. I surrender myself to that primordial reality. Before all the plurality came, that state.
So this was the earlier verse where he spoke about, where we saw that Yata Pravritti Prasata Purani Tameva Chadyam Purusham Prapadye Yata Pravritti Prasata Purani, that we saw. But that Yadgatvana Nivartante is the same thing which is there here in 5th verse and 6th verse. So this is like a continuity. This 4th verse says this, Tata padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuya. Having gone or discovered that state, they don't come back. Then the 5th verse says gacchantya mudha padam avyayam tat. That state, this people free from delusion will discover that state. Now 6th one further elaborates the same state. How to reach that state? Those 5 qualities were given. Again, what is that state? Indescribable, but still some definition is there, and that is this. Na tad bhasayate suryaha na shashanko na pavakaha yadgatva na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. So he says that supreme state is not, it is not possible to illumine that state. By whom? So the sun doesn't shine there. Na tad bhasayate surya. Na shashanko, nor the moon. Then na pavakaha, not fire. Acha, that place seems to be very dark. There is no light there. No. And yadgatva na nivartante, having gone where you will not come back. So sounds very scary place if we think about it. Oh my God, there is no sun, there is no moon, there is no fire, there is no light. Must be absolutely dark. and once you go there you can't come back. Oh, very, very dangerous, scary place. Natad bhasayate surya. What does that mean? So one meaning we have to understand is even physically it is not possible for us to see it. See, one sun itself we can't see properly. Arjun was shown the Vishwarupa Bhagavan, which is also a limited glimpse. And when he saw that Vishwarup, we saw in the 11th chapter where he says Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhaved Yuga Paduthita. It is as though thousands of suns have risen at the same time. He says, so the light is blinding, I can't even handle, and that also his Divya Chakshu he can't handle. Ordinary Chakshu to forget is not possible. So when we see even physically that is not possible to have this darshan. One sun, what will it do? Thousands of suns are rising together, still the brilliance of Bhagavan can't be perceived. So that is one meaning of this. Na tad bhasayate surya na shashanko na pavakaha. That. Then the second meaning of this is Surya, Chandra and Agni. They are symbolic. All of us know when we study Tattva Bodh that these are the presiding deities. They are phenomenal forces, presiding deities, devatas we say. So Surya is the devata for eyes. Our eyes can see only in the medium of light, and so Bhagavan says that the Surya devata governs the functioning of the eye. Chandra is the mind, Manaso devata Chandrama. So eye and the Agni, fire, is the presiding deity of this. Speech. Eye represents senses of knowledge, speech represents senses of action, which means that senses cannot perceive the truth, they cannot grasp the truth. And the mind, moon, represents the mind. So mentally also we can't conceive of it. It is not some experience, it is not some emotion, it is not some thought. It is that which is illumining all this, because of which the body can perceive, the mind can feel and think, the intellect can grasp, but it cannot be grasped by any of these. Why? Because consciousness is that from which all these rise. Even literally if you see, the whole Srishti from where it rises, in which it stays, into which it goes back, that is called consciousness. That's the definition given in the Upanishad. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisamvishanti tad brahma vijignyasasva. Know that to be Brahman, know that to be the infinite consciousness. What? From where this whole thing rises, into which it stays, into which it goes back. Like the waker's mind is that from which the dream world rises, in which the dream world stays, into which the dream world goes back. The sun in that dream world cannot illumine the waker. Why? Because that sun is an effect. The waker's mind is the main cause. So when we understand this, so literally also it is not possible for the sun, moon, star to illumine the consciousness, because they are the effect. Cause is always bigger, subtler than the effect. They don't exist, consciousness remains. They come into being from consciousness, they stay in consciousness, they go back into consciousness. Consciousness is not affected by any of them. Consciousness doesn't need them also. And that's why the Upanishads give very mystical expressions, where Upanishad will say Pashyamya chakshu sashnomya karnaha. The consciousness sees without eyes and hears without ears. Meaning what? It doesn't need eyes and ears. Eyes and ears need consciousness. It is independent, it is free. And that is our true self. The identification today we have is I depend on this, my body, my mind, my intellect, I am this. Without this I don't know who am I. But the fact is, I am that infinite consciousness on whom this BMI depends. But we have forgotten that. So that's why one is Vimudha. Amudha is one who remembers this. I am that consciousness which cannot be illumined by the sun, the moon, the stars. Meaning it is not some fleeting experience, it is not some external thing, it is ever present reality. Natad bhasayate suryaha na shashanko na pavakaha. That's why when we do this arati, we chant the similar thing. The mantra words may be different, but the essence is the same. Natatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agnihi. That sun cannot illumine, moon cannot illumine, lightning cannot illumine, stars cannot illumine this state. Then what to talk of this small little fire that I am doing the arti with? Tameva bhantam. It is not tvameva bhantam, it is tameva bhantam. It is after consciousness that all this is visible. All this can function. It is that consciousness which enlivens these. In our experience also, if we see from individual standpoint also, this small I is nothing but the big I reflecting in the mind. When this mind is in deep sleep state, I don't have even that feeling of small I. Then there is no experience of the world. There is no sun, moon, star, nothing for me in the deep sleep state. First I have to wake up. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. First this I has to wake up. And that I is appearing as small I, but actually it is a big I. It is a consciousness only. That consciousness enlivening the mind, then that experience of the dream state, then the experience of the waking state happens. So natatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam, when we chant, that same essence is again here. Natad bhasayate surya na shashanko na pavakaha. Yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. That is the supreme state of mind, having gone where one doesn't come back. Meaning any other state one will go to, one will come back. We have seen this earlier, so I won't elaborate. One can go up to Brahmalok and come back. Whichever loka one goes, one will come back. Unless Bhagwan gives some knowledge there and one gets liberated, that's a different point. Otherwise, any loka we go to, one will come back. Till one doesn't realize absolute oneness. Which is why the Advaitic ideal of Jivan Mukti is what one has to strive for. Tata padam tat parimargitavyam. If one can't get that for whatever reasons, then Krama Mukti. From Brahmalok one will get knowledge and one will get liberated. But having gone there, one doesn't come back, meaning there is no return into the realm of ignorance. One will not forget, I am. So now we can say, having a limitation of example may be there, but having understood the, let us say, the alphabets, we know A to Z, we know fully. Now we will not forget, because it has got internalized fully. But don't tell me that Alzheimer's hota hai to sab bhul jate hai. That's a limitation of example. One has, it has become so effortless for a person. Same way one can say driving. So one is driving a vehicle, then one has learned properly, one has been driving for many years, now it has become a very subconscious skill. One will not forget. So like that, one who has understood this and experienced through Shravan Manan Nididhyasan, I am Brahman, will not fall back into the realm of ignorance. May live in the world, do the duties, etc., but absolutely anchored within there is only one truth, nothing else. Such people, he says, Yadgatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. This is my supreme abode. See, a lot of people use the word dham, and in Dvaita they will say that dham is the ultimate goal. What is the ultimate goal? To go and be one with Bhagavan, meaning one, to go to the loka of Bhagavan. So somebody wants to go to Vaikuntha, somebody wants to go to Saket Lok where Ramji stays, Kailas where Shivji stays, Vaikuntha where Vishnu Bhagwan stays, Swananda Loka where Ganpati Bhagwan stays. For Devis also there are different lokas. So each one wants to stay in different lokas. That is a bhakta's conception. Till one is in Dvaita, one thinks ki that is the best, I will be near Bhagwan. I will be in the same loka as Bhagwan. I will be looking like Bhagwan. And I will have qualities like Bhagwan. So Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, Sayujya, all these muktis are there. But that is not Paramdham. When Bhagwan says Yad Gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama, that is the supreme abode. Having gone where, one doesn't have to come back. One will not fall back into the realm of ignorance. And who can go there? See, if we don't have Vairagya, we can't remain there. We'll come back into this world. Because desires are there, one will be forced to come out from that state and then take form and live in the world. That's why Vairagya is so important. So when he says this, Tadhama Paramam Mama, it is my supreme abode. Literally the word Param indicates that which is apart from Prakriti, meaning anything which is changing is Prakriti. That changeless truth is Param. That's why Tadhama Paramam Mama. It is the supreme abode of Bhagwan. What? The changeless truth is the supreme abode. No, why you are saying changeless truth is the supreme abode? Because all the lokas also get destroyed when the pralay happens. They are there only as long as the Srishti is there. Then they will also merge. Everything will go back into the source when the pralay happens. So it is not Paramdham. From where it is rising, in which this Srishti is staying, into which it is going back, that is Paramdham. That's why the definition of Brahman is important. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisamvishanti. If one says ki in the dream there is one nice bungalow that I have, and I am going to just stay there permanently. When this waker wakes up, that bungalow will disappear. However exalted or however glorious it may be, all the lokas will get destroyed. Only one consciousness remains finally. That is the only truth. So, the idea is to understand this, ki this is the goal and this is what one has to discover. Yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. More of this we continue in our next satsang. For today we will stop here. So we thank all our Yajmans. The Mukhya Yajmans for the whole series. अजय कसोटिया जी, तराना खुबचंदानी जी, कल्पना मोरपारिया जी, पराग वाघ, अजय मर्चेंट जी, भरत खन्ना जी, दीपिका बख्शी जी and वंदना जगवानी जी. गीता आरती यजमान for all sessions, विनू मुंशी जी, दीप्ति गांधी जी, ज्योत्सना नेवातिया जी, रश्मि आनंद जी, राजन सक्सेना जी, विपुल दलाल जी, हेमंत कुमार रुइया जी, नलिनी काया जी and सुधीर मर्चेंट जी. The Dainik Yajman for today, Mala Malkani ji, Sadguru Mehta ji, Deepak Desai ji and Monica Nagpal ji. And the Aarti Yajman for today, Harsha Desai ji, Monica Vikram Malkani ji, Hema Akshayvani ji and Daksha Kilawala ji. So we invoke Bhagwan's grace and Gurudev's blessings on all the Yajamans, their families and everyone present here. May Bhagwan bless us with these 5 qualities. May we anchor in Adhyatma Nitya, and may we also discover the supreme state of freedom. Om Tat Sat. Jai Shri Krishna.
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरिय कमल विहारिणि सुन्दर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनि कामासक्तिहरा तत्त्वज्ञानविकासिनि विद्या ब्रह्मपरा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते निश्चलभक्तिविधायिनि निर्मलमलहारिणि शरणरहस्यप्रदायिनि सबविधि सुखकारी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते रागद्वेषविदारिणि कारिणि मोद सदा भवभयहारिणि तारिणि परमानन्दप्रदा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते आसुरभावविनाशिनि नाशिनि तमरजनि दैवी सद्गुणदायिनि हरिरसिका सजनी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरि पर प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर लीजय ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरिय कमल विहारिणि सुन्दर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते बोलिए गीता मैया की जय।
बोलिए श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Okay, any questions for today? All right. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.